London Tonight with Keir Simmons.
Hello, good evening. The parents of Sarah Payne have been speaking about their fight to change the law on convicted paedophiles. Sarah and Michael Payne are due to meet Home Secretary David Blunkett tomorrow. Today, though, they told Christopher Peacock about how their private family life has changed, their feelings of revenge and their hopes for the future.
Mike Payne spoke today of the time he wanted to kill Roy Whiting for murdering his 8-year-old daughter. There was, he says, an awful moment when he thought Whiting might escape arrest, so he planned to take justice into his own hands.
You bought a gun?
Yeah. I never actually got my hands on it, but it was bought and it was put away.
Would you have used it? Could you have used it?
I don't think I would have used the gun, but I think I would tore the man apart myself. Because the anger and the hate I feel for him is just overwhelming. I've never felt like that before.
Whiting has served 5 days of a life sentence that will see him die in jail.
Well, he didn't was it a 9x8, 9x6 for him?
I hope he enjoys every minute of the rest of his life.
So, you know, he's got no life. He's just going to be stuck in there for the rest of it, and he's going to have to remember why he's there.
The Paynes' 3 remaining children, Lee, Luke and Charlotte, are in trauma therapy. Sarah fears for Charlotte and the future, but the children have told her they can look after themselves.
I think this will come and visit Charlotte in later times.
Yeah.
But we're doing the best that we can for them. At the moment they can blame him and they can leave it with him. And that's it. You know, end of story.
The children were there at Sarah's funeral in her hometown of Hersham in Surrey. It was their choice, a day that Sarah's mother had planned with such care.
The worst thing that occurred to me after Sarah was found was that she would never have the wedding that she had always talked about. And she loved the dressing up and the beautiful fairy stuff and all of that. She loved fairy tales. And so the one thing that we could no longer do for her was a wedding. But what we could do was give her the most dignified and the most beautiful funeral that we could.
Mike and Sarah Payne became symbols for Sarah, never giving up on finding her killer. And now they're involved in a crusade to put Sarah's law on the statute books. Tomorrow they meet the Home Secretary, even though the government is against public access to a paedophile register.
Christopher Peacock with that report. And tonight, police say they have arrested a 25-year-old man for allegedly failing to sign on to the sex offenders register. Tuan Quang Ho, who's 25, was found at an address in South London after the Metropolitan Police Force's paedophile unit made a public appeal to trace him. London Tonight has obtained graphic pictures highlighting the dangers of drunken behaviour on the tube at Christmas time. The dramatic CCTV footage shows revellers dicing with death after a night on the town. You may find some of John Todd's report shocking.
It's a common sight at Christmas, 2 young men drunk on the Underground. But what happens next is terrifying. Incredibly, the man survived with just a few stitches. But it's a lesson to all of us.
The Underground is not a playground. You must make sure you take care. As that video showed, that poor individual was seconds away from being killed. That wouldn't have been a good Christmas for his family and friends, let alone for him.
Underground worker Joanne Appleby witnesses similar things every year. Take, for example, the time someone worse to wear for drink got down onto the live rail.
He was actually staggering around on the platform. He was very drunk. He went to the edge of the platform and just climbed down onto the track itself and sat with his legs over the rail. There was a train pulling into the platform and a couple of customers were waving down the train to the train driver to actually stop, but we had already discharged attraction currents.
Joanne had to give first aid to one man when a prank turned to disaster on an escalator.
He was sliding down the handrail. I mean, obviously he was drunk and he thought it was a bit of a joke, and he was sliding down the handrail and he hit one of the stop dimers, the emergency stop dimers, and went obviously tumbling down. He ended up lying at the bottom of the escalator, blood pouring out of his head, his face. He said he couldn't move his arm, his leg was bent, you know, backwards.
The simple message, take the tube, but take care. Don't drink so much that you risk something like this. This is John Todd for London Tonight.
The London Ambulance Service is appealing to the public not to use its emergency ambulances as a free taxi service. Studies show that Londoners are 3 times more likely to phone for an ambulance when suffering from minor ailments and injuries than other people living in other British cities.
The past few months I've been talking to lots of ambulance staff across the London Ambulance Service, and they're telling me that the problem's getting worse. And so now's the time to, as we approach winter time and we see a traditional increase in our workload, now's the time we really want to make the public aware of the need to use the ambulance service for real emergencies, not for taxi work.
And that's it from us for now. We're back tomorrow morning with bulletins in GMTV from 6:30. Until then, have a very good night.
Carlton Weather, sponsored by Amarada.co.uk, suppliers of gas and electricity.
Hello, good evening. Lots of cloud across the southeast for most of the night, and that'll help to keep temperatures up a little bit. The blanket of cloud should keep the frost away from most of us, but it is likely to break up at times, and that will allow the temperatures to fall that little bit further. So there's likely to be a frost on your car, and air temperatures down to around -1 in 1 or 2 places later in the night too. So watch out for some mist and a touch of frost here and there. For tomorrow, it's going to be very much like today. That means a lot of cloud, just 1 or 2 bright spells. The wind's not strong, but they're from the north or northeast, always a cold direction, so 5 at best, I think, for most of us tomorrow, and that's just 41. A similar day on Wednesday, dry but cold. And then on Thursday, an odd shower, more wind and showery rain to come our way by the end of the week.
Carlton Weather, sponsored by Amarada.co.uk.